transfer you to the quartermaster service. Not a rosy prospect, Commander.
Hey, what's going on, guys? We welcome back to the Studio C podcast, episode 15.
You're muted, barbecue.
There we go. Welcome back to the Studio C podcast, episode 15, and the last episode of 2023. I was at the sports show. How are you feeling? The last episode, Phil?
Man, I didn't even think of that. It feels good, it's been great being gone, for the rest of this year and look forward to great 2024 and years to come.
Speaking of great, let's head right into basketball. You got anything for basketball?
Yes. Yeah, so we got a couple topics for basketball. Starting off with, and they're all quick. They're starting off with the Clippers. Ever since acquiring James Harden, they started off real slow. They needed some time to get things together. They're currently on a 9-game win streak right now. So shout out to them. The team looks great. Kawhi Leonard's playing some of the best basketball he's played in the last 3 years, really probably his career. James Harden looks great. The team just looks really good right now. They're on a high, so shout out to them. Also, Ja Morant coming back from his 25 game suspension. In his first game in 8 months, dropped 34 points and hit the game winning shot to win the game. So shout out to him as well. That was really cool and a storybook ending. Our boy KV sent me the stat line after that game because he calls me a John Morant hater just because I say he's better than Trey Young. But it was definitely a great game. So shout out to those two things, and yeah, we can I guess move on to football. Unfortunately, unless barbecue, you have anything.
I don't got anything else. But we got a huge rant for you today. Is Falcons unfortunately lost to the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah, yeah. Man, this is gonna be a more calm rant though. If we would have got me after that game, like the only reason why I didn't unleash that day the way I wanted to was because I was at work. I had to constrain myself. Man. This was I don't want to over exaggerate. This is one of the worst losses I've experienced as a Falcons fan. Um, Not only because this was huge for playoff seeding or the hopes we had left for the playoffs, but this was a 1-12 football team that sucked, lost, been losing, and we set up there and we lost. So let me start off with the game itself before I move on to how I feel about my team. Um, it's been really how the last few games has been going. Great defense, as I've been saying on the show. This has been probably the best defense I've seen in my Falcons watching lifetime. Offense is just terrible. Desmond Ritter, terrible. He flip flops. He goes back and forth. But honestly, like Desmond Ritter doesn't look like a starting, not starting. Desmond Ritter doesn't look like an NFL quarterback. I'm talking about bag up, third string, practice squad, and I don't think it's a talent issue. I mean, he has talent as he's been able to show, but his decision making has been terrible. Like even this game right here, it was like 2 minutes, a minute and a half to go. We were in field goal range. Desmond Ritter, they said I want to say he had Drake London open. He could have threw the ball out of bounds. He could have ran. He threw interception. I don't know what he was throwing to. It was so bad. The announcer said I'm not even sure what he was looking at. And the announcers they always try to defend the player, but they said I don't even know what he was looking at. Threw an interception right to the guy. That's 3 points taken right off the board right there. Panthers go down the field, kick the field goal, and we lose. So yeah, starting off this whole season really irritates me because we had real about this game also. We don't get our guys. I'll keep going. All right, so this season has irritated me from the start because we had the talent and the potential was always there. It was just about the quarterback situation. Number one, Arthur Smith, our head coach, he wanted to go in with Desmond Ritter as the starting quarterback. I'm not a Desmond Ritter fan going back to college. I thought Desmond Ritter was mid in college. You can have very small scenarios of a mid college quarterback coming in and doing good in the NFL. Brock Purdy with the 49ers being one of them. But most of the time, you're mid in college, you're gonna be lucky if you're mid in the NFL. So that's just how I felt about him to begin with. when we drafted him, I thought, okay, he'll be a cool, career backup for us, and that'll be that. I never thought that he would be the franchise quarterback. Last season, he benched Marcus Mariota. Desmond Ritter came in, and he showed he wasn't great, but he wasn't bad. He showed that he could be an NFL quarterback, not a starter in my opinion. But we went in with the potentials that we had, handing the season in Desmond Ritter's hands, and handing him the keys to the car, saying, "All right, it's your job not to make sure we don't crash or anything." Desmond Ritter has killed everyone in the car. He just crashed. He's crashed our whole team. Um, Man, yeah, he just right off the cliff. Um, and I don't want to blame the whole season on him, but he's a big part, man. I mean, the turnovers, like this is the first time in my life, like I've never seen a quarterback struggle to get the snap under the center. Like I'm afraid that he's gonna drop the snap. Like he turns the ball over like that. I mean, drops the snap, fumbles the handoffs, and then let's go into his interceptions and dumb decisions. I mean, he's cost us games by himself. Um, and then let me move on, getting away from Desmond Ritter. Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith has to go. I think this game really proved it. You did not get your team ready to play. We had a 1-12 football team and we lost. That's coaching as well. As another thing with Arthur Smith this season, him flip flopping between the quarterback positions. One week Desmond Ritter's the guy. He gets benched at halftime. Now we're going with Taylor Heineke. Now we bench Desmond Ritter again after this game, and then we're going back to Taylor Heineke. When you're benching a quarterback twice in a season, that's coaching. You shouldn't do that. You should just ride it out with a quarterback. Like in my opinion, I never thought we should have went back to Ritter to begin with. That you wanted to do it because he wanted to try and save his job and try and win. Heineke, they said it was performance based. Heineke got injured against the Cardinals, and that's why Ritter had to come back in, and we just kept riding with Ritter since then. Ritter is not good. That's why he got benched again. But and now you're trying to start Heineke again, trying to save your coaching job. I think that Arthur Smith has been bad with us. He was brought here to be this offensive mind, and our offense has been terrible. We have elite talent that we can't get the ball to. I don't know if it's them. I think blame needs to be placed everywhere, but I've seen with Drake London. Drake London last game had 10 catches, 172 yards. I came on here and said it was one of the best receiver performances that I've seen since really Julio Jones was a Falcon, to be honest. He came out this next game against the Panthers. He had one target, one catch. Like, what are we doing? I understand it was raining and stuff, but you gotta get your best players to football. Send them on a quick slant route. Let them touch the football. Throw them a screen pass. Like, it's ways to get your best players the ball. Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts was the highest drafted tight end, this generational prospect. He had his this one really great to elite rookie season with us. Ever since then, it's like he doesn't know how to play football. And it's like why Bijan Robinson, who's a great talent, one of the best running back prospects we've seen. We drafted him. It's like we're struggling. We got the talent. We're struggling on how to use them. And at that point, it's coaching. So, as far as how I feel about my team now, I'm trying to not go on like forever like KV. But as far as my team now, I really am giving up hope. Like I really am lying. I don't really care anymore. I'm just moving on to next season. Whenever we talk about the off season, once the season is done, I have a lot to say of things that I want us to do when the off season comes, as far as the quarterback goes. But for the rest of this season, I mean, I would like them to play hard and play with effort. That's really it. It's been a very disappointing season. Um, I know that we still mathematically can get in the playoffs, but I don't want this team does not deserve to be in the playoffs. I know I said that all I care about is the playoffs. That's my Super Bowl. We can lose 70 nothing. I don't care. No, I'm putting as an NFL fan, forget a Falcon fan. As an NFL fan, the Atlanta Falcons do not deserve to be in the playoffs whatsoever. We are not a playoff team. We are terrible. The Saints or the Buccaneers are better than us. They deserve to be in way before we do. And we just need to get our life together. But yeah, that's really what I have to say, trying to not take the whole show. Yeah. Hold on, I can't hear you, barbecue.
I was muted again.
Okay,
Professional.
okay, cool.
So what I was saying was, do you think they? I know you said you don't want to see them in the playoffs or not a playoff team, but realistically, do you think they have a chance?
We have a chance realistically, but it's one of those we can't control our own destiny. We have to win out, but we had to depend on other teams beating the Saints, beating the Buccaneers. Like this game tonight, Rams and Saints is actually huge for the start of that. I think they said whoever loses this game is gonna be knocked out of the playoffs. So of course I'm gonna be rooting for the Rams. But the Buccaneers, I'm not sure what their situation is looking like. So we just got to depend on other teams to lose, and I don't really like that. And then after that, then you got tiebreakers and all that complicated stuff. So yes, it is a chance, and I believe that it's a long shot.
All right. So they lost 9-7, which is a rough game.
Yeah.
Should have been
Junior's watching the game.
109,
Yeah,
even with the Falcons.
yeah. I mean, just pathetic.
All right, Steelers Colts. This one pains me also. 30-13. I'm glad we benched Trubisky. Trubisky is not him.
Mhm.
He never was him. He put him back with the Bears where he belongs. Like, shoo him away. Like, we don't want you anymore. I'm so happy Mason, the red-nosed Rudolph, or no, Mason Rudolph, the red-nosed quarterback, is playing this Saturday. He's not good, but it's a difference. It's a difference. He is currently 2-0 against the Bengals. Hopefully 3-0 after Saturday. This season is just like you. It pains me. This season has been very disappointing. I came into the season with high hopes. You saw what record I wanted them to have, 12-5, and then they
Yeah,
just lose 3 in a row. This is their third loss in a
yeah.
row. Like, that's embarrassing. I was reading a bunch of articles throughout the week. Steelers legend Ben Roethlisberger even said the tradition of the Steelers might be over. Like, you hear, like, you used to hear the Pittsburgh Steelers were like a tough team, one of the strongest in the NFL. Now they're just like, you push them around, which is sad to see, but it is what it is. Like I said in the past, I think it might be time for us to give up on Tomlin. Will we? I don't think so. But speaking of Tomlin, I just read an article literally right before the show that said he's gonna get some of his coaching powers taken away next season. So fingers crossed he might be fired. Obviously, like I said before, nothing personal. Love the guy. I hate anytime anyone's fired because, that's their job. They have a family. But Tomlin, we all know Tomlin's going to get back up on his feet. He's arguably top 10 coaches right now. It's just not working out with the Steelers. I believe Steelers and Falcons have the same chances for playoffs now. I think if we both win out, there's like a 78 74% chance for each of us to make the playoffs. So we're kind of in the same boat here.
Yeah.
As much as I hate to say it, the best team out of all three of us is the Packers.
Yeah.
Even though
But you
they,
know what's interesting about that though is that out of all of our teams, the Packers have the best quarterback though. That quarterback position is really important. It's really important.
really, really important. And you could even argue Love isn't even that great of a quarterback. Uh,
Yeah, he has up and down.
yeah. I mean, Kenny's Kenny's up there too. He just needs to be more consistent. Kenny's tough because he came into the NFL with a bad OC, and he's still young, so everyone's given up on all the Steelers fans have been giving up on him so far. I haven't because I see he's still young. He still has a lot of potential. Um, I think I was talking to some of my friends. They said they think we should hire a veteran quarterback to kind of train him and teach him and mentor him. And what's his name? Kirk Cousins. They think Kirk Cousins might be the guy. His contract's coming up soon. I think this year is just he's going to be a free agent after this year.
Yeah, I think a
Um,
lot of teams are going. My bad, my bad.
well, what I was gonna say was I don't think we'll grab him up because that's not a Steelers thing to do. But you go ahead.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams are going to be interested in getting Kirk Cousins. My Falcons should be one of them. You know, even though I have a list of what I want us to do, but yeah, but only reason why I say that wouldn't make sense to me with the Steelers is that Kirk Cousins he's too good right now to be a backup, and benching Kenny Pickett, I don't think that's best for him because he is young, like he's 26, 27. But for the year that he's in, like usually when you're going to your third season, you're like 23, 24. So for the year that he's in, he is older, and I feel like that's going to stunt his growth if you try to sit him on the bench. So with those two things, I really don't think it makes sense for the Steelers to have him. I think maybe like not saying this guy specifically, but a Joe Flacco type quarterback where they're a veteran, they've had success in the league, but they're not a starting quarterback, and they can help Kenny out.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. Um, because like he said, he's young but he's old. He's young to the league, old in age. So yeah, I plus I don't think we don't have much to give up anyway. We have, I mean, all the people that we have to give up make our team, like T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward. Like you're not gonna sell, or you're not gonna. I shouldn't say sell. That's kind of a bad word, but you're not gonna trade Mason Rudolph and Mitch Trubisky for a all-star quarterback. You get an acorn and a quarter at most for both of them. Like, I mean, but so we're kind of in a rough spot. I think personally we should probably draft someone um or to take over one of the backup positions just because you're just drafting someone. It's not like it's not gonna hurt anything really if they're not good. But as far as
Yeah,
mentorship, like I kind of agree with you. Like we should hire someone with that's a backup but has experience. What else? I think that was it for the recap.
yeah. Well, real quick, I know with the Steelers first, it's no better time of the year to start a Rudolph at quarterback. No better time in the year to start a Rudolph at quarterback than this year. So, like you say, not great, but he's going should be better than Trubisky than what Trubisky has been. The Steelers, it has to be frustrating being a Steelers fan because it's like you guys are never bad, but like it's just like you're not great, or like the wins. It's like you're fraudulently good almost. It's like you start off really well and you start losing these games in a row, and now you're in the situation that you're in now, and it's kind of been like that the last couple years. I do think for y'all season this year, a lot was riding on Kenny Pickett. He showed a lot of really good flashes towards the end of his rookie year with game-winning drives and stuff. And he was expected, especially like we were talking about, young in NFL years, but older in age. So we expected a big leap from him, and he just didn't provide that. But I wouldn't give up on him at all, though. I think we could just call it a sophomore slump. This next his third season is gonna be really big, though. As far as whether he's the guy or not. Like we were saying, I definitely think a veteran would help him. I don't think a quarterback in the draft yet because um, uh, where where you guys will be picking at it's going to be no quarterback that's really going to do you any good as far like I say. I mean, unless you just want to fill in a roster spot. I mean, they can do that. But yeah. I know we also wanted to talk about from this game our thoughts on the hit that the safety
Oh
Demonte KZ
yeah.
did, and he's suspended for the rest of the season.
So yeah, to go back to the draft real quick. What I think we should do is first and foremost offensive line. Your quarterback, you're not going to have a great quarterback if you don't have a great offensive line because they're going to get tackled this every time. So I think we should prioritize offensive line and then possibly get a quarterback if necessary. So that's just like you said, just to fill up, probably replace Trubisky or something. Put Trubisky, just make him a groundskeeper. Maybe he'll do a better job. But yeah. Onto that hit. Have you seen clips of that hit?
Yeah, yeah, I have.
All right. Before I go on to my opinions on whether he should be suspended, do you think he should be suspended? Do you think it was a clean hit? Do you think what are your thoughts on
Okay. Um. So coming from a guy that played offense, obviously I don't like the hit, but being non biased and objective, if we're going by NFL standards, then by NFL standards, the hit was dirty and he should have been ejected, but he should not be suspended for the season. Uh, that is out of line to me. Being suspended for the whole season for that. Just my personal opinion of it, taking the NFL away. Um, I mean, what do you want the defender to do? Let me start off by saying I'm all for making the game, more as safe as possible or more safe. I think that's actually big, especially seeing what CTE can do and the effects of playing the game of football can do. I'm all for making it more safe, but at the same time, it's a physical sport. And I mean, those guys, they've been playing it for years. When you're playing, you know what you're signing up for. I don't understand what you want the defender to do. I think the receiver, he was diving for the ball. All the defender, he didn't know he was going to dive for the ball. He just sees this guy is about to make the catch. My job is to stop him from making the catch. I'm about to hit him. And you see what he did. He leaned his shoulder. He didn't lean with his head. He really didn't do anything wrong. So my personal opinion, I think that's a football play. And 15, 20 years ago, that's a football play. One thing I heard Tom Brady mention in a podcast I was watching, one thing that they said was that we always put the blame on the defender. Why don't we put some blame as well and some punishment on the quarterback that's throwing the hospital pass to begin with? Because I mean, at the end of the day, they play a part in that also. With you throwing the pass, like I think Gardner Minshew is the Colts quarterback right now. When you're throwing him a pass like that, the safety's coming down full force. You're setting your dude up to get hit like that. So if we're going to punish the defender for it, for doing his job at the end of the day, and like I said, he didn't lean in with his head or anything. He just made a football play. If we're going to punish him for that, and we need to punish or do something for the guy throwing the ball, putting the receiver in that situation as well. So, like I said, to go back over everything NFL wise, he should be ejected. He should be suspended a game. The whole season's ridiculous. Me personally, I think that's a football play, and we need to start putting blame on the quarterback throwing the ball as well if we're gonna do that.
Yeah. At first, I didn't see what happened. I was obviously watching the game, but I didn't see what happened until after the fact. Um, and I personally think ejected from the game may have been a little rough, but just I mean, but I do think he should have probably got fined for it. Um, I think it was a pretty clean hit because it wasn't like you said. It wasn't helmet to helmet. It was helmet to pads. Which, if it was helmet to helmet, you know me, I would have been like, yeah, that was a dirty hit. But personally, I don't think it was in this case. Um, but suspended for the rest of the season, like you said, that's totally irrational. Um, like he does not deserve it. Like it was like you said, what else was he supposed to do? And even like after he saw him diving, it's not like he could stop. You're like he's what 150 to 200 pounds. Like you can't stop
Right.
that easily. Like I can. I'm like 180 to 100 pounds. I can easily stop myself, but even sometimes I have a hard time. And I'm like 80 to 100. And just imagine 150 to 200. Like I mean, I guess he could have turned away, but even then, like you said, it's his job to either catch the ball or stop the guy from catching the ball. And I feel like he did his job. He shouldn't have been suspended at all.
Right, and I'm so glad you mentioned that because I was actually just thinking about it. Like the only thing I could see them saying is, well, he saw him dive in, he shouldn't have leaned in like that. Football is a game where, of course, you need to think, but it's more reaction first than thinking. Because you think too much, you're gonna mess up. So he sees, all right, this dude's about to catch the ball. My job's to stop him. I got to hit him. And like when he's diving, he's already coming full force, ready to deliver a hit. He can't stop himself just right away from because he sees the dude diving. So he leaned in with his shoulder and did the best. He did the safest play he could in a physical game called football. And I'm scared that we're gonna get to the point where because it's already advantage to the offense with all these rules and penalties. And I'm just scared that we're going to get to the point where we're not going to be able to really play football anymore. Like you said, I mean, it was nothing else that he could have done. If he would have turned a certain direction, then the safety could have got injured. And then where are we saying then? And then if he would have caught the ball trying to not hurt the dude or whatever, then that the safety, his job could be in jeopardy now. So I mean, I just don't really like that. like I said, as far as him being ejected, I think he would have been ejected either way, whether it's right or wrong. I mean, I don't know. It was a national TV game, so they probably wanted to make an example that we don't tolerate that in our game. Okay, understandable, but him being suspended for the rest of the season, that's uncalled for completely.
Here's my point: NFL versus the Steelers. All right, let's go. So you got anything else for this week?
Uh, nah. Well, shout out to Drew Lock with the Seahawks. Backup quarterback came in, game-winning touchdown against Philadelphia. That was really nice. So just shout out to Seahawks and him with that. That was nice.
All right, so let's go on to week 16. Yeah, week 16. Tonight's game, Saints Rams. I got Rams. Yeah, I got Rams.
Yeah, we talked about earlier how big this game actually is. I'm going Rams, and that's not even being biased. I would go Rams either way. The Rams are playing good football. Um, I think they're just better than the Saints. They're a better team, so I'm going for
All right, Steelers Bengals. Another huge game. Um, for Steelers. Realistically, I want to say. Realistically, I want to say Bengals, but obviously I'm rooting for the Steelers. I do think we might be able to manage a victory, especially with Mason Rudolph coming in and being 2-0 against the Bengals. So I say this one's close, but I mean you know what? Fuck that. I'm going Steelers. We're at home,
it.
rivalry game. We already beat them this year, but that doesn't matter because we're at home. Mason Rudolph's going to have the game of his life. You hear it here first. What's your opinions on that?
I was over here thinking about everything myself. I'm gonna go with the Steelers as well. You got two backup quarterbacks going against each other. The Bengals backup Jake Brownie has been playing really great football. He really has. But Jamar Chase, Bengals' best receiver, is out. They do still have T. Higgins, but Jamar Chase is a big loss. I also just think like kind of like what we saw with Vikings quarterback back. I can't remember his name now. Josh Dobbs, kind of like how we saw with Josh Dobbs. The magic wears off eventually. I think that may happen against the Steelers, especially you got Rudolph, the red-nosed quarterback back there. Christmas time, why not? Let's go Steelers. So,
All right. Colts, Falcons. I'm going to let you go first on this
this is tough because the Colts have really been playing some good football themselves, but believe it or not, non-biased, I'm still gonna go with the Falcons. With Taylor Heineke starting for us, like first, I do not think that he is a great quarterback himself, but he is just way better than Desmond Ritter. So when you have when you replace a terrible quarterback with an average quarterback with the offensive weapons that we have, um, I think we should be able to win that game. Arthur Smith, he should open up the playbook because his job is in jeopardy. So he should be pulling off the greatest coaching job of his life. With as well the fact because we just lost to the Panthers, I'm thinking the Colts, they should kind of underestimate us. Think we're sorry. That we're giving up on the season. and we should be able to come in with the win and spoil everything that's been going on with them. So I'm gonna go with the Colts. I mean the Falcons.
Mm. So I just saw Jonathan Taylor might not play for Colts because of his thumb. So that would be a huge loss. I mean, they got a pretty big injury report. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, Falcons got a huge injury report too. Oh, they got 9 out. I'm gonna go Falcons. Like you said, they're probably gonna be underestimated. They're the underdog. They're definitely the underdog at this point. Um, Honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if you guys win out the rest of the season. Uh, got after this 2 games left. Bears is very winnable,
It
and
is.
Saints. I mean, that's a toss up, because rivalry game and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and it's in New Orleans. So, and this is your last
Yeah.
home game, last game in the great Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna give this one to Colt or Falcons.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Speak.
rest of our schedule is very interesting. The Bears, another team, not they're not good, but they've been playing good football. Um, so, but like you said, it is winnable. Uh, the Saints game is gonna be very interesting because it's gonna be a battle at that point. Who can knock who out the playoffs? Because like I said, if the Saints lose tonight, they're done. So that last game, if we win against the Bears, they could ruin our chances. And then Saints win, then we have a chance to ruin their chances at the playoffs. So that's gonna be a who spoils who game. So that'll be interesting. But yeah,
Speaking of Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Peach Bowl. It's the next Saturday.
oh,
I want to talk about this because the greatest college football team, Penn State, is playing this year at the Peach Bowl. Um, the owner of my company has tickets and was giving them away, but unfortunately, that's the day I come home, and we have like a 6 hour drive. It's 12 o'clock. It's at 12 o'clock. I don't think we would make it, unfortunately, which that would be really cool to go to. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to mention Peach Bowl is not this coming Saturday, next Saturday.
who are they playing again?
Old Miss, I think. Yeah, Ole Miss. All right. Right before we get into this next topic, wanted to say a little something. Give a shout out to our sponsors, Midnight Energy. Want some nice, refreshing energy? Uh, Pretty good. Use code BBQHD for 10% off. And Whisper Sense, new product launch, Peppermint. I am really proud of this design. Uh, yeah. Go to whispersense.co, use code WHISPER for 20% off up until January 1st, so you still have some time for that. Alright, what else? last NFL topic, the terrible towel curse. Do you believe in the terrible towel curse or not?
Um, I don't think so. I think the events this year have just been ironic and kind of like what are the odds moments. Because this is not the first time or the first season at all that opposing teams have made a mock of the Steelers' terrible towels. So I don't think it's cursed. It could be, who knows? It could be the start of a curse. That based off of history that we have seen, I just think that this is what are the odds moments. But if you want to call it a 2023 season curse, then yeah, it is. But I don't think it's it's a permanent or like a history type curse.
Well, actually, ever since the terrible towel was created, there was this I think it was a Browns player who stomped on it. It was it was way before the season, and then he broke his leg that game.
It-
So it's been happening since the terrible towel was created.
when was it created? When did y'all start doing that?
1975.
I know they definitely are a big deal. I know we talked about it, or I know you talked about it before, but I'm still haunted by that game last year when the Steelers came to us, and I mean it looked like a Steelers home game because all you saw was just towels everywhere.
Yeah, there's reports of the curse being ever since it was created. Let me see. There was. I know there are, like you said, there are a lot of teams that do disrespect the terrible towel, and then they either that player specifically gets hurt or their team does bad. Let me see if I can bring up some examples. So obviously, we know this year the Jags player was who stole a fan's terrible towel and proceeded to stomp on it. Then the Jags started doing bad. That Browns player who wiped his butt with a terrible towel, Browns started doing that. I think that guy got hurt. So that's from this year. Um,
Yeah, well, I take back my instinct then. I guess it is a curse. Yeah, I get for me it's one of those things. I don't know if I would believe it, but I definitely wouldn't be the person to try and test it out.
yeah, and it even happened here. Normally it's when you do something to the towel, but like last year we were talking about the terrible towel, and I think it was around this time too, because Franco Harris just passed and everything, um, and yeah, he was saying he said he called it a washcloth, and look how the Packers began their season. Ah, seems like a curse to me. Um,
You would call it.
yeah, he called it a washcloth, and then I was like, it's not a washcloth, and I got offended, played it off, and he was like, it's a washcloth, like, but Now the Packers.
Hey, well,
Yeah.
who's the Falcon fan that disrespected the towel? Then somebody must have been real disrespectful, starting with the Super Bowl. They must have burnt the towel or something. He deserves jail time. Whoever responsible for that, 'cause we gotta have some type of curse.
Yeah, you guys got it bad. I mean, maybe it's time for you to start praising the terrible towel. See what happens.
Yeah, hey, we'll see. That'll be enough then.
That'll be a last resort for you.
I hate the Steelers. I like I've always liked the black and yellow colors. I love AB Le'Veon. Yeah, sure. I may have to buy a Steelers towel.
I
See
mean,
if
they're
that
pretty
works.
cool. I mean, it's just a towel, but I have one hanging up literally right there. I want to know what Steelers fan disrespected the towel this year.
Yeah,
Kenny, might need some words for Kenny if he did it. But next on to NHL. Penguins are currently 14, 13, and 3. One on Monday, the 18th. Yep. One on Monday. Currently winning now. 1-0, but still early in the game. One Monday, and this is their second game of the week. They lost to the Maple Leafs Saturday, 7-0. Won to the Canadiens 4-3 with a shootout. And are currently playing right now against the Hurricanes, winning 1-0. Just started period one, well, 10 minutes into period one. So a lot of game left, so let's hope they keep it up.
yeah. I know I haven't caught any hockey games lately. I've been on the schedule for work a whole lot. Which is ironic. The closer I'm getting to leaving, is the more hours I've been getting. But yeah, so I haven't been able to watch it.
Yeah, I haven't watched in a while either. I used to be really on top of it early on in the season, and then just stuff happened. So I haven't been able to catch it for a while, but hoping to catch a few more games this season, especially now that football is kind of dying down a bit. But all right, on to MLB. You got anything for MLB?
Um, nah, I don't think it's anything big on there. I think it's kind of like I know obviously the season's been done, but I think the big off season has kind of been done too. So they're just chilling, getting ready for spring to come, so they can get back into training and stuff. Yeah, no MLB type.
All right, I think we're done. Final episode of the sports show this year of 2023. We'll be right back here tomorrow evening, 6:30. You said
Yes.
6:30 p.m. Eastern time for the last fun show of the year. We got some great topics coming up. Top 5 Christmas movies.